Don't settle for fakes. My duel-taining is the real deal.
Hey everyone, it's mekklord, and the mini-box finally leaked, and if I look a bit miffed today, it's because I already recorded this video, but then Vegas Pro decided to not recognize the file as valid during the editing. Thought that was fun, so I used a converter to convert it to a different format, but that didn't work, so I have to record this again, which sucks because the first recording I had Yumi was there and she was reacting with me. Well, she wasn't reacting, she didn't give a shit. But she was there and it would have been really great content. So, Pulse of the QUASARS, I'm gonna go real quick over everything, because I've already seen this twice now. Jesus. Shooting Quasar Dragon. Wow, an Omni Negate in the year of our Lord 2023? That you have to invest a bunch of resources. Well, actually, you don't really have to invest that many resources in it because of the new skill that you say is gonna get. But this is still like a tall order, and I'm concerned about this deck's ability to follow up. Like, sure, you get Shooting Star. I guess this isn't bad. I don't know. I kind of torn on this. I think that outside of this dedicated Shooting Quasar Turbo Yusei scale-centric deck, it's not really going to be really good. Like, people are being like, oh, this is really good in TGs because it's an Omni, but you could make Albert Cannon in TGs, and nobody does because it's not worth it, because then you have no resources for your follow-up plays, and if the Albert Cannon is taken care of, you just lose the game. You just lose the game. Even like you look at Quasar and it's like, okay, wow, an Omni Negate. Okay, I have to face this. Okay, Book of Moon. Oh, they negated it. Or they didn't. Doesn't matter. Dark Hole. Game's over. Like, just too resource intensive to be meta defining, unless the UCA skill ends up being very good and popular, which I don't know, I think it has potential, but I don't think it's that good, you know? Stepping on the Ultimate Time Lord. It's a bad payoff for Time Lord decks. Basically turn them into Ungap Ungap beaters, which kind of conflicts with the burn game plan. Also requires a lot of like resources and setup. I guess this is playable with the new skill that Zone has. That also works with the Infinite Light trifecta of continuous traps, but other than that, I don't know. Don't put this in your pure Time Lords deck. Skylight Ray Dragon Archfiend, probably the best you out of the bunch, a generic 8 that becomes RDA on the field or graveyard, so you can still make, you know, Nova plays that require RDA without having to play a bad card. I don't think you can sub this to RDA in Demon's Resonance because it's only RDA on the field and grave, not in deck, but still pretty great. Pretty good card. Wavering Eyes is there because it's a pendulum support / anti-support card that was really good in the TCG. Way back when pendulum decks were the decks to beat / the decks to play, so in mirror matches, you'd be able to resolve all 4 effects of this card, maybe even just 3 was good enough, especially considering in Master Rule 3, when you destroy your pendulum monsters, they went to the extra deck and you had no limits on how many you could be summoning from the extra deck. So popping 2 of your scales in order to search 1 monster is actually pretty good, because then you could summon, you had 2 more monsters that you could pen summon, and if you were playing stuff like Pepe, you could have plussed off of these scales before you pop them with like Monkey Board and Plush Fire, this sort of card. In Duel Links, pendulum decks aren't really good, so you will rarely run into a situation where you actually get to use all 4 of these card effects. And destroying 2 of your scales to get 1 card is not really great either, because you can only, most of the time, summon 1 from the extra deck, so I don't know. I don't think this one is going to be good. Tyrant RDA, pretty decent, I guess. It negates battle tricks. Wow, this is gonna trip some people up. I don't think it's a better, like, double tuna payoff than Red Nova. But, it certainly exists, so there's that. Shooting Riser Dragon, pretty good card, CCG playable because of its Foolish Burial effect. In Duel Links, I'm pretty sure there's like some combos and applications in which it's really good, considering it's a synchro tuner that can modulate its level, basically. But I can't think of them. I'm not smart enough. But it's a cool card. I'll give it that. The sulfur chords make their introduction to Duel Links for no reason, like thematically no reason. I don't know why they're being added. They're getting their Link monster in the card trader, so if you haven't checked that out already, you should. If you're interested in the deck, it's definitely important. I haven't read it. I don't know what it does. I've played against this deck in Master Duel because one of my friends used to really like playing Sulfur Chords. She liked all the cutesy archetypes, you know, Arrow Mages, Sulfur Chords, Life Twins, Slifer Turbo, this sort of stuff. And I've read all of these, but I've blanked them out of my mind, so I just had to read them again for the purpose of this video. Cutie is pretty good. Skipping to Kulia, which is also kind of nice. It can negate up to 2 cards. And Fancia is also pretty decent. Cutie is basically Stratos, which is really good for Pan archetypes in general. And the whole gimmick of this archetype is they do special stuff if you have a Nod and an even Pen scale. So like Scudia as a Nod Pen scale. Sorry, even. Yeah, 8 is even. Kulia is an odd one, Fancy is an odd one, this sort of stuff. So yeah, I think they could be playable, if only because they have some crazy back row and yeah. And nothing more to say about this. Time Maiden is theoretically a good card in Time Lord decks. In practice, it's really huge bait for Barmanel, but also guarantees follow-up where you maybe wouldn't have any if you bricked on non-Time Lord cards, for instance. So yeah, I don't know. The fact that you can definitely use all 3 of these cards effect per turn is kind of insane. I think it's definitely playable in Time Lords, but you can also do without, you know. Red Rain is the card you're building the new Jack deck around. Notorious Clyde made a very thorough video on it, so I invite you to watch it. And it's probably going to be one of the decks you see the most on ladder for the upcoming format, because this is going to be really tempting and probably really easy to get to. I looked at the Sulfur Core cards. Synchro Overtake is basically 3 additional copies of Junk Synchro, or recycling for Junk Synchron, so you can make some follow-up plays if you didn't open Converter or drop Converter in your graveyard. It's a really good card, just absolute 3 of. Yazi is my favorite Rose Dragon card. It's a really good generic 7. So if you're into playing generic 7 synchros, Yazi's there. Even if you're not playing other Yang Zing cards, John is pretty busted. Pulling Down is really funny card that you can play in Archfiend. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good enough to make Archfiends playable again. I've seen like the Spirit Grasp Burning Abyss / Archfiend deck that has cogged a couple times. And it's really a fun deck to play. I might try to actually play it. I don't think you'd be playing this card in this deck though. Maybe in pure Archfiends. But even then, what's the payoff, you know? Gabrion's bad. Lazion is really good and probably worth adding to your Time Lord Burn deck if you're considering it, especially considering the Graveyard Shuffle effect can be very useful against like PK, Noids. What other archetypes uses the Graveyard? I don't know, can't think of any. But it's good against these decks, so there's that. Dreamia, decent. Penduro Mucho, it's very funny. Infinite Machine, Infinite Light, I've talked about, but these are basically the most important cards in the Time Lord version of the deck that can search Empty Machine with the dedicated skill, so it's pretty good. If you're considering playing this skill, you should have these cards. Angelia is decent. Gracia adds back row, which a Soulful back row is busted. Like, read Soulful Elegance. 3 effects. You get to pick one. Place 1 Soulful pen monster from your deck to your pen zone. Pretty good. It allows you to already like set up some pen plays. But wait, there's more. Add 1 Soulful pen monster from your end to the extra deck face up. Okay. Then place 2 Soulful pen monsters, 1 odd, 1 even, from your deck in your pen zone. This is basically like a dual link skill, right? This is the odd eye skill, but as a real card that you can play 3 of. And that has 2 other modes, including the last one, add 2 cards, 1 odd, 1 even, pen scale from your pen zones to the extra deck face up, and if you do, draw 2 cards, which also a really good effect. This card is absolutely insane, and it's a rare, so if Soulful prove to be a little bit too good, it's going to be the first card to get hit. Just a really good card. Just a really good card. Soulful Ammonia is a field spell with also 3 effects that you can only activate 1. Add 1 face-up Soulful pen monster from your extra deck to your hand. It's decent. Increase the pen scale of 1 Soulful cards in your pen zone by its level this turn. I think there's a very fun stuff like with all well, not fancy, yeah, because if you add 4 to 5 it's still 9, so it's still odd, but yeah, if you look at Angelia, it's level 6, pain scale of 3, so if it's your pen zone, it's pen zone of, oh wait, actually it's still odd. Dreamia becomes even. Coolia becomes... It's still odd. It's still... Okay, well, never mind. I'm an idiot. Makes your... That doesn't... Okay, I completely brain farted this one. If you control Soulful pen monsters with at least 3 different even or odd pen scales, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Doesn't target, which is, I guess, very important. This is pretty good. I don't know if it's like good enough to see play in Duel Links, considering you have a tighter deck space and you're already filling it with a lot of your Soulful cards and the Soulful Trap, Soulful Musica, which also pretty fun. I don't know. It could be played as one up or not at all. We'll see. Triamid loading. Another card like the 3 remaining Triamid players have been asking for like ages. Oh joy. If a field spell... Oh, sorry. This deck is just so boring. Alright. If a field spell face up and field zone, you can... Onto the common cards. Brainjacker is really bad. I remember pulling this bad boy back in the day in the TCG and being like, "Whoa!" That was a little child, so I had this voice. "Whoa, this is just really good. You get to steal a monster." But the reality is, if it's destroyed by battle, you can't get to equip it. So, yeah. Dark Snake Syndrome is really funny for like burn-centric strategies. Time Lords, of course, come to mind. Tricksters too. This is played in pure Tricksters deck that are no longer in the TCG. Cloak and Dagger, I think you have to activate this one proactively rather than reactively. What this means is if your opponent goes normal summon the Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves, you can flip this and be like, "Oh, Ragged Gloves," and hope to pop the Ragged Gloves. It doesn't happen. So yeah. I don't think this one is... Well, this one may be decent as a side deck option, but it's not that great, because like even against PK, you declare what? Breaksword, they make Dark Rebellion. You declare Dark Rebellion, they make Breaksword. I don't know. Froggy Force Field is Mirror Force for frogs. Really funny. Stallion is mid. Alien is bad. Engraver of the Mark. Okay, so this card is not really good in the context of Duel Links, but I played a TCG draft event. It's not even a pre-release. For the set that had like Live Twins and Drytrons. I forgot what it's called. Ancient Stuff? No, it's not Ancient Stuff. Ancient Stuff was the one of the Ogdoadics and Hustics. It was like... I forgot what it's called. Who cares? And in draft format, like this card was like absolutely insane. It's basically the best form of removal in the in this draft environment. That wasn't very like competitive or even well known, but it's really a fun card, and I like this card for this reason. It's not good though. What kinetic puppeteer? Oh, finally you have a counter to Mech Knights. We have the Sand Trap that's really fucking garbage. That just cancels their what's the big one called? It's not blue, it's Indigo Eclipse. There it is. Wow! It's bad. Elitia, more Sulfur Gold cards, Accumulator. This card does not exist. This is a card that was created by ChatGPT. I refuse to believe otherwise. Empty Machine and Beauty. And last but not least, very worth talking about, 1/1. Basically summons any level 1 monster from your hand or deck, preferably the deck. There's already a post on Reddit that goes over like very quickly all the stuff that this can summon. And it forgot a couple of stuff that people have added in the comments, but stuff of interest to me, specifically Infinite Decatron, which is basically any Infinite card in your deck, right? Nucleus Infinity Core, which might finally be reason enough for me to go back to playing mekklords. Malefic Paradox Gear. What else is there? Evoltile Mega Carella. It's pretty fun. Beautiful Princess for all these fish decks. This is a really good limited 1 card for these decks. What else is there? I forgot the post, but I'm just gonna post the image now so you can see all the stuff that 1/1 can summon. But yeah, really good cards. Really good card. Well, of course, the sleeve is kind of funny. So what do I think about this mini box? I think Sulfur Chords have potential to be a strong deck. I'm less convinced of the viability of shooting Quasar UC Scale Centric Turbo and Red Rain Jack Atlas Scale Centric Turbo is also pretty good, I guess. I don't know, I think this is one of these bugs that I think could be underwhelming but might also be really good. Personally, I'm not too interested in the Sulfur Chords. I think they look cool, but I'd rather save my gems for something else that rhymes with Brococust. So I'm just gonna maybe like go through it at most once to get Scarlight RDA, Red Rain, maybe play Resonators, or maybe not even at all. Unless I really feel like playing Time Lord Burn with Lazion and Dark Snake Syndrome. So yeah, that's my take on this mini box. What do you personally think of it? Please make sure to let me know. And I will see you guys for April 1st. I have a very funny April 1st joke that I'm gonna make. Take care everyone, and goodbye.